Welcome to the podcast. This podcast is entitled, Why is She Voting Democrat? I got called by a strange phone number, and I thought, well, maybe it'll be a survey. I like doing surveys. And if it's not, then it's somebody, and I'll say, take me off the list. So she said, she sounded really nice. She's like, hi, I'm from the Democratic Party of such and such state, and I want to ask you some questions. And I thought, oh, this is a ballot chaser. I thought maybe it was a ballot chaser. I don't know why else she would be. Because she didn't sound like she was from a call center. She sounded like she was like a normal person, like at home. Because there was no delay. And when I answered the phone, she didn't sound like she was in a call center. I couldn't hear anyone else in the background. And it wasn't like, hello, is blah, blah, blah there. You know, like they sound like when they're from a call center. And she wasn't a foreigner or whatever either. And I said, well, I've never lived in that state. I live in this state. She was like, oh, okay. Well, I can't really ask you the questions. So thanks anyway. And I told her good luck. And I should have asked her, because at the time I thought, what is motivating her? Why is she, she might not be volunteering. I know they pay some of these ballot chasers, but some of them volunteer. I signed up for something to volunteer somewhere, but I'm not in a swing state, so I don't know what happened with that, but I never heard back. But I thought, why is she spending her time trying to make sure I vote Democrat? I know what I'm concerned about. What is she concerned about? And she's probably just as concerned as I am. This is one of those things you learn in college is I think the people who disagree with me are crazy. And they think I'm just as crazy. And they're not all insane. Like, they might be wrong, but I might be wrong, right? And that's something that conservative kids in college have to grapple with. Liberal kids it's like they're just being validated the whole time. It's like they're at church the whole time. And all the professor monks are there. It's like a liberal seminary for them. And I'm the heretic. So anyway, so let me just, this is what I'm worried about. And then let's see what maybe she could be worried about. Having the government force us all to drive EVs. Having the government ruin the economy and force all this Green New Deal crap on us. Just allowing anyone and everyone across the southern border. Just complete mayhem on the border. People moving in all over the place. We don't know who they are. None of them speak English. They're poor. They'll take any jobs and lower all of our wages. All that. All that. Turning the country bilingual. I don't want that. And not having diverse immigration. Just having them all come from Mexico, pretty much. So pretty much we just transplanted here. I don't know what percentage of Mexico, but a huge percentage of Mexico has just moved to the United States. We don't have diverse immigration. They're just, at least in the last 40 years, they've just all been Mexicans. And like Guatemalans and stuff, but Mexico and Central America, that's where they're all coming from. So shouldn't we be bringing in people from all over the place? Anyway, I don't like that. Right? I want somebody to stand up to China and all the fat cats who are just selling us out to China, or who have been for the last 40 years. I want somebody who's going to put America first when it comes to foreign policy and not just sell us down the river so they can make a quick buck by sending all the jobs overseas. I want somebody who's not going to push trans ideology on us. All that stuff. I could go on. But I wonder what her list is. I mean, sincerely, I was like, I bet I could think of a couple things that are on her list, but what's motivating her to call random people and do ballot chasing? And I guess she's just as kind of freaked out as I am. Now, the main thing I'm freaked out about is that our elections are being stolen. Seriously, that's the biggest thing. Now, all this other stuff matters to me too, but if we lose the election, okay, it's not the end of the world, but if we don't have real elections, that's kind of the end of the country, you know? So what are some things she might care about? So she's probably worried about abortion. She's worried about, I'm sure, first of all, girls who were raped, incest, and the life of the mother and all that. But she's probably also worried about just women who don't want to be pregnant and are using it as birth control. So I'm sure that's a big issue. I mean, why else would a woman be voting Democratic? I mean, I'm not saying they all are, but we know that's a huge issue. They don't want Trump in office again because he's crazy. He'll do something crazy. He's unpredictable. Okay, maybe they don't like January 6th. They think that's a big deal. Yeah, okay. I wonder which kinds of things they don't like that he did while he was in office, not just what he said. They're just scared of what he said, right? That's usually what you hear. Maybe they like how he didn't handle COVID. Now, I don't know how anyone could have handled COVID well. He pretty much did what they told him to do, right? He didn't do as much tyrannical stuff as they wanted him to do, but he pretty much did what they wanted. Maybe she thinks he's Hitler. Maybe she's bought into that. If I disagreed with his politics, I would really hate Trump. And if I liked Obama's politics, I would really like Obama probably. Maybe she wants higher taxes on rich people, and Trump won't do that. Maybe, I don't know, maybe she thinks illegal immigration is a moral thing to do, or we should let more people in. Maybe that. She probably wants more stuff about global warming. She's probably worried about that. And Trump isn't worried about that. But what else could it be? I mean, what else? What other issues are there? The healthcare thing, the Republicans didn't get rid of Obamacare, and they probably won't because it's pretty popular now. I sincerely don't know. And maybe that's just because, seriously, what could it be? What's going to be different about when they're in? It's probably just that. They're probably just freaked out because he's Hitler. Right? They'll say, remember how crazy it was? Well, I don't remember it being that crazy because all they remember is all the crazy stuff he said on Twitter. It was constantly thrown at them, right? It used to be Russia, 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 but that's gone down the drain, and they just kind of like, what's his name? Prager says, being on the left means never having to say you're sorry. They never had to say sorry for that. And their constituents, I guess, don't care, and they don't, I don't know what the word is, have the presence of mind, that they're not critical thinkers enough. I don't know what it could be. How many times do you have to get lied to realize that you're being lied to? But maybe a lot of them still don't even realize they're being lied to because they don't listen to anything other than the same old news sources that aren't even really news. They're just BS. So I really wish I could ask her. And, off the cuff, it's kind of hard to say all the things that you're mad about. Not everybody has, or that you're concerned about. Not everybody has the elevator pitch, right? That's the politician's job. But I don't know. I really wish I could have known. Because you go on Twitter and this is just stupid. You can't talk to real people, right? I don't know. Because she sounded like a nice lady. You know, that's why I was nice to her. And I just thought she's probably sincerely just trying to get, you know, doing ballot chasing, just like people on our side are doing. And the elites are just pitting us against each other like they always do. That's how it always is. Regular people, like, think about wars. It's very rare that the regular people on the battlefield actually have a beef with each other. Right? Like that story about in World War II, the Christmas party that they had. They just like called a truce and they played soccer. I think they played soccer in between the trenches. And they had some drinks and just hung out on Christmas. And then when they went back to their trenches, their leaders said, okay, now start killing each other again. And I think this is true. Jocko Willink was, I'd already heard the story, but then there was a video from Jocko Willink and he was explaining more of it. And he said for a couple days they refused. Now think if the people refused and we all just said, we're not doing this. This is stupid. You guys are manipulating all of us. We're not doing this. And that's, you know, that sounds kind of Marxist, but that part of Marxism is real. That the elites screw us over. And he was right about that. Now, not in every instance. And okay, I'm not, whatever. I'm just saying we need to realize, stop being manipulated. Wake up to what's going on. There are people in control of our governments who don't care about us, who don't want what's best for us. They just see us as in the way or a nuisance or expendable or like cattle, like slave labor, whatever. And too many of them are in positions of power. Too many of them are in control. So I wish I could just, you know, I probably couldn't convince that lady of anything. It would have just been nice to know why she's doing it. Because I know why I would be doing it. Because I'm trying to save the country, but mostly, see, my thing is mostly from what I think are corrupt elections. Because if the people, I mean, if we can't trust our elections, and if our elections actually aren't legitimate, then we don't have a democracy anymore. And then the government isn't legitimate. And we as the sovereigns have had the government pulled from us. It's like if the King of England had some imposter come in and depose him. If we don't have real elections, that's really what's happened. People are ruling without the permission of the sovereign. Or in our case, sovereigns. I wonder what she would think about like RFK and Jimmy Dore and other Democrats who are on the Trump train. Like, how do you explain that? But see, those are people who go against the grain and don't just say what their parties say. You know, and I guess they could say, well, what do you think about Dick Cheney and Mitt Romney? And well, those people jumped the shark a long time ago. Because we both think the country's going to be in a real bad spot if the other person wins. But isn't that all, how it has always been in every election? And yeah, this one is different. And I guess they think it's different just because Trump is a danger to democracy. But why do they think that? Just because elites have been telling them that forever? Just because late night hosts and idiots on MSNBC have been telling them that forever? What really convinces them? I guess January 6th? I don't know. I wish we could just get through to some of these people. And see, they're thinking the same thing about us. But I think we could sit down and talk about it, not with some stupid, gotcha conversation like happens on the internet, but a real conversation. And I don't know how they would not be convinced, at least of some of the stuff. And maybe they'd convince me of some of the stuff. But I really don't think I would be convinced that I want them to control our lives and throw the borders open and get us into more wars. I used to be one of those partisans who I can't believe the stuff I believed about, just went along and argued all the little, all the little talking points where when you sit back and think what you're saying, you're like, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, dude. What am I talking about? It's just because I heard someone else say this and we all just say it together. But you have to be able to go against your own side or go against what you already believed and change your mind. But they're not doing that. And so how do you prove you're not in the cult of Trump, and tell them that they're still in the Matrix when they think you're crazy? I don't know. I think there's enough people who get it. But I think there's also a ton of people who are just still in the Matrix. So anyway, that's just something that happened to me. And I wish we could have more, conversations like that. I wish I could talk to that lady, but I don't know who she was. So thank you for listening.